Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Wakanda Forever. So, kind of interested in seeing this, but I'm skeptical. I've been told by many people this is an awesome movie. I just, I wasn't a big Black Panther fan. I'm not a big Marvel fan. And I know who Black Panther was, and I liked him showing up in the Avengers and all that kind of stuff. And the first one I wasn't really big on. Black Panther. Still, of course, I'm going to watch it. Superhero movie, and I like the actors in it, and I think they do a good job. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it, but from the child in me, the Black Panther, whatever, But, so this moves on after his death, and, all the same people are in it. A lot of people, I want to try it. Lupita, Nyong'o. I don't know. She is, I see her in a lot of stuff, but I've never learned how to say her name. And then Letitia, Wright is in it, but I don't know why I'm trying. You guys know who else. Angela Bassett is in it. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in it. I didn't know that. That's kind of interesting. And Michael B. Jordan. So, that's the other thing. I was just trying to convince my wife to come down and watch this, and she's like, I didn't see the first one. And I was like, I don't remember the first one, to be honest with you. But I could have sworn Michael B. Jordan wasn't going to be in it for some reason in that. So I don't want to kind of ruin that in case you haven't seen the first one, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But anyway, I don't even know where my remote is. Oh, here it is. It's on Disney Plus. February 1st. So that's cool. I'm excited. So 2 hours and 43 minutes long. Let's get into it. Let's see. I'll be back, I'm sure, at some point over these next 2 hours and 43 minutes, so stick around. Alright, 7.1 on IMDb. I'm sure tens of thousands of people have rated it so far. I know it's 7.1, but whatever. I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I'm letting it roll here a little bit to see if there's any post-credit scenes. Sorry, no check-in. I know, 2 hours and 40 some odd minutes, and I didn't even check in with you. You're probably like, where are you, my man? Yeah, I'm sure you didn't miss me at all. But I don't know. Oh wait, as I turn to unpause it, they come back on. Anyway, I'll get back to it. So there's a post-credit scene here. One thing is, when you pause on Disney Plus, you can't see the timeline. At least not when you initially pause. I don't know if there's something I have to do. Anyway, so I didn't check in, and I apologize for that. I've no really excuse. There was one point where I stopped it, and there was only 45 minutes left to go in the film, and I was like, forget it. Right? You know what the movie's about. I'll quick hit you with it, right? So, Wakanda, so we all know what happened with Chadwick Boseman, right? And so they have to deal with that in this movie, and it comes up early, and I won't go into greater detail. I will a little bit later at the end of this review. I have to talk a little bit more about that. But anyway, ultimately what happens is that the vibranium, whatever, is not only something that they use at Wakanda, it is Aquaman and the underwater Atlantis people as well. There's another group, they're actually blue, who use vibranium as well. What had our military, I believe it's the United States military, actually finds some in the ocean, and because of that, these blue fish people want to take out everybody because they don't want people to know about this. And so they go to Wakanda and basically say, join us in taking out the entire world, or if you're not with us, you're against us, right? So of course the Wakandians don't want to wipe out the planet, so that creates enemies, and so they have to fight to protect themselves and the world. The plot, right? And dealing without the Black Panther. So they have to figure out a way to do it on their own. And that's ultimately what we get. Now, what we do get is a very strong female lead characters. I think it's interesting. So the younger sister kind of starts taking off the lead, but I think there's so many other characters that really come to the front of this movie. I would have to say she is probably the lead character, especially when you see the movie all the way through. But 3/4 of the way through, you could make a case for Angela Bassett. You could make a case for the girl from Lost. You know, there's a couple of different characters that really, like I said, come to the front. I think they all do a fantastic job. And I'm wondering, the 7.1 on here, if that has a factor in it. I've seen that in the past where strong female leads drive down the ratings for whatever reason. You know, and some of them, some movies aren't great. Doesn't matter who was the lead, but you know, sometimes I actually enjoy it a lot. I think it's refreshing to see that, and so that's what you get in this one, and I like that aspect of it. I did. But I'm going to be honest, there's something about this that had me distracted. Now, was it the film? Was it my state of mind coming into it? It doesn't really happen that often. Was I, you know, going into it knowing it was 2 hours and 45 minutes, was I, you know, immediately taking that for granted or not granted, but thinking of that and getting on my phone more because it's such a long film? I don't know. You know, sometimes when they say, like, you're really hungry, and then they throw out all this food right in front of you, and it's like, whoa, it overwhelms you, and now you can't eat, kind of thing. Like, is that what happened to me? I don't know. But I was really distracted. There was points where I was on my phone, and I was like, wow, I better pause this, because at first I was like, I could listen to it, but there's, you know, they talk in different languages, so you got to read a lot of it. So I had to get back and force myself to watch this movie. It just wasn't. I wasn't gripped. You know, I understood what was going on, but I don't know. Like, I think the other thing is my lack of connection. I've said before I'm a DC fan, and that's cool. But in this, there's no characters for me to connect to personally. You know, there's not a character that I grew up with. I believe people who probably were into comics probably know these blue people. I'm like, wow, they brought, and I apologize for not saying their names correctly, but maybe, wow, they brought the blue people in. That's awesome. Or in the comic books, when the young sister does what she does, wow, I remember reading that. I'm connected to it. You know what I mean? Not me. I only know them from the movies that I've seen. And so I think that's an aspect of it for me. Because otherwise, it just becomes another, you know, superhero movie that I'm not completely invested in. And so that's not a knock on it. I mean, everything else was great, you know, all the cool stuff that goes on, and you know, all the acting, and like I said, the strong female leads I think was great. You know, there was nothing. I think the way that they handled, you know, Chadwick's passing in the movie. I shouldn't say in the movie. I have issues. I should say Chadwick's. The way they worked that in, I thought it was great. I loved the beginning opening when they do the Marvel opening, you know, that thing. I loved that. I thought that was fantastic, front to end, that piece of it. Now the Black Panther piece, I got a little thing to talk to you about then. So, but the Chadwick thing, so it's slightly different, but we'll get into that in a second. So that's it for me. I don't know what else to say. I think if you're a die-hard Marvel person, you probably love this. And, you know, I know I've already talked to a couple of my friends, and they loved it. You know, they thought it was great, and they're excited to see my review. And it's not that it was bad. Again, I want to be upfront with that, but it just didn't pull me in, didn't hold my attention, and keep me going. It was, you know, anyway. And Michael B. Jordan was in the movie, so I thought that was kind of neat. I was like, man, anyway. So there you go. I'll keep it short and sweet. I do want to say something that slightly, I don't want to say spoiler alert, but it talks a little bit more openly about the film. Something I didn't know about the film before I went into it. So let's talk about that real quick. So spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Again, I'm not going to spoil the movie for you. But honestly, I missed the Black Panther. Not the death, right? So that's right in the beginning of the film. So if you haven't seen it, it's right then and there, right? What goes down. I waited 2 hours and 45 minutes to find out what happened, right? I'm waiting for a flashback or something, a comment, anything to tell me what happened to him, Like, how did they... I get it. She tried to save him. Didn't work, right? Save him from what? I missed it. I completely missed it. I didn't rewind it. I just assumed we'll get to it. It's gonna pop in there, you know. Maybe that's where Michael B. Jordan comes in. You know, I have no idea. There's got to be something. We do flashbacks to find out the head Aquaman guy. Wow, how'd he come to be? And then she started walking it back at the end. I'm like, oh, waited this whole time. Like when she's at the fire, I'm like, here it comes. No. So I had to look it up and find out how he died or how he came ill and then died. You know, and so that's probably my fault, but I thought I was watching it, at least at that point I thought I was invested in watching it interesting, but I might have missed it, so there you go. I don't know. That's all I got for you. I just wanted to share that with you. I'm a little disappointed in myself for missing that in the beginning, and you know, finding out afterwards, I'm a little disappointed in it as well. But could be because I just missed it, you know. But when I think back, if I was watching, I was like, oh really? That's how they're going to play that off? I don't know. All right. But, you know, and not, I don't know. Not make it more obvious, I guess. So, or, you know, for somebody who's as dull-minded as me. That's it. That's all I got for you. Hopefully I was somewhat helpful. I don't know. But I let the truth be told. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.